Hey everyone, this is Pooka here from the 2012 World Championships. I'm here with Drew Holton.
Woo!
You know him very well for that. And we have top 4 match between Jay Hornung and Harrison Leven. It's a mirror match. How do you think this one's going to go?
I'm not actually sure how the mirror match goes. Based on how I've seen Jay play in the past, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned into a little bit of a Mewtwo war. A lot of X-balls going back and forth.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, both players are playing the Darkrai Mewtwo deck that Jay used at Nationals to take 3rd place. So Jay said his version really hasn't changed at all. We haven't seen Harrison play. He is the one who knocked out Michael Pramalot, so obviously he's been doing very well. His deck must be really good to get this far. So it should be an interesting matchup at the very least.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a great game. Yuta actually lost in the last round of top 8 as well. So we're going to actually see a new world champion. I'm sure both these players would love to be that person.
Oh yeah, Harrison, of course, he was undefeated at Nationals all the way up to the top 16. And then he got knocked out. He's using his Excelgor deck. And now he is here, another huge run to the top 4 at Worlds. And I got to say, what a season for him and Jay.
Yeah.
They're both just have had an incredible run through Nationals and Worlds.
Yeah, they've both been doing extremely well, and it's kind of sad to see one of them's going to have to lose here. They're both very deserving of this, and I'm sure we'll be seeing both of them at Worlds next year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's sad to see one of them go, but someone's got to win. Someone's got to lose when it comes down to it.
Yep.
What you said earlier, I think it will degenerate into the Mewtwo Wars at some point. I think what might end up happening is early on, someone gets just a Darkrai. It's just safe early on. It won't get knocked out in one hit. And then eventually you'll see the big Shaman Celebration win, move all your energy to a Mewtwo, and then they'll get down to it.
Yeah, certainly both decks are capable of doing that. And, yeah, I would not be surprised if that's very much how it plays out. Just the Darkrai's, they're not going to be fast prizes back and forth, you know. And they're just like, all right, let's cut to the chase, Mewtwo. Time to go.
You're not really going to see any cheap prizes taken because it's all just giant EXs with 170, 180 hit points. You do have Smeargle, which isn't really that big of a deal. It's only giving up 1 prize, but looks like they are setting up. Let's get over to the match. You can see Harrison, he's got old school Lucario.
Oh, yeah.
Diamond and Pearl
sleeves. I wonder if he's been saving those up for this occasion.
Those are actually like the most durable of the pre-release sleeves of all time. Maybe, I doubt they've lasted this long. But
he had them in a safe place. He's like, all right, if I make it to top 4, this is it.
Yeah, gotta save them for the camera. And Jay usually has pink sleeves. I can't tell though.
Those are, unless you messed up the color of the camera, I don't think those are pink.
Yeah, I might have. You never know. Everything looks a little like brighter or darker.
I think those are pink.
Man. Oh yeah, those are pink. And so Jay's got the pink sleeves. Harrison's got the blue ones. We got a mirror match, but at least we'll be able to tell them apart. And they shake hands, and we'll get going. Now, one of the things that might come into play is like a max potion. You can heal all the damage off your Pokemon. There are a lot of variables. You don't know if someone plays Lost Remover or not.
Yep.
There's a lot of little things that can add up in this matchup. And, of course, N.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech cards. And like you mentioned N, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what this came down to. Yeah. I think we saw it in Jay's top 4 matches in Nationals, where they were just a really extremely close game, and then it was decided by who drew best out of their ends to 2 or 1 at late game.
Yeah, and it looks like we are getting started here. And the top 4 at the 2012 World Championships, and Harrison Leven will go first.
Woo!
This is a big advantage. I mean, going first, you get to do everything. In the worst case scenario, for Jay, Harrison could get a turn 1 Night Spear.
Yeah, that's probably why he played both Smeargles down, maybe. You don't want to get FTK'd here. You make it all the way to top 4, and then you lose the first game on turn 1? I don't think so.
That would be devastating with all of this on the line. You know, you're just 2 matches away, and you are the world champion for a whole year. You're the man for a year. And just to lose a game like that would be horrendous.
Yeah, you got to feel both players are maybe starting to feel the pressure on one hand, they've made it to top 4, which, like you said, is the plateau point. They got their trip to next year, but you really want to finish the deal.
Oh yeah, I mean, both these players, when they go home, they're going to look back and say, wow, what a great run.
Yeah.
This was a great weekend. But at the same time, if you get this far and lose, it's always in the back of your mind, like, man, I was so close.
What could have been?
Yeah. I'm sure we've both been there, and it's just not a good feeling, but I'm sure they're happy with where they are either way.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Immediately right now, they're going to be pumped, but down the road, they're going to be like, I wish I could make it back.
Yeah.
And especially Jay. This is Jay's second time here.
Oh, yeah. So this is kind of a repeat of U.S. Nationals, because in 2007, Jay lost to Chris Fulop in the finals at U.S. Nationals, and he made it back to the top 4 this year, and then he ended up losing again. And he said he was really disappointed that he got that far again, couldn't seal the deal. And here he is again at Worlds. He took 3rd back in 2009,
Yep.
and here he is again. Let's see if he can go the distance this time.
Yeah. And Harrison has a very good start here.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 2 energy on that Darkrai already.
Yeah, he's got 2 energy, and he actually decided to bench Mewtwo, which is an interesting choice. Usually you see players try to hold the Mewtwo until they really have to play it. So otherwise, you can do stuff like if your opponent gets a Shaman, moves all their energy to a Mewtwo,
Yeah.
that's just 2 prizes gone.
Maybe he was thinking, like, I don't want to portrait and hit a Juniper and then lose this Mewtwo forever, so I might as well bench it.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing I would see.
Normally, these decks do not play any recovery cards like Super Rod, because, I mean, they have so many prizes they can give up. I mean, you have 3 Darkrai, 3 Mewtwo's. Those are both going to be great attackers in pretty much every matchup. So,
Yeah.
if 3 EXs get knocked out, you lost. So there's really no need for a recovery card like Super Rod or Revive or anything, because most of the time you can just get a couple prizes with a Darkrai or a Mewtwo, even if you run out of one or the other.
Yeah. And Jay actually brought that Darkrai active. What do you think about that? If he doesn't have a response to that, he just kind of helped out Harrison.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why you would catch with that instead of the Mewtwo. Mewtwo, of course, you would have to attach to it to retreat or have a switch. Now it's just attach.
It's
and
there.
Yeah. Okay, now we get a look at Harrison's hand. He plays Potion.
Potion, yeah. That's a huge card.
That could definitely swing this match a lot.
Yeah, it could eliminate Night Spear bench damage, or bring an EX Pokemon out of 2-hit KO range.
Yeah. So when you use Eviolite on a Darkrai, it gets Night Speared for like 70. I mean, you can just Potion and Junk Arm for it, and you pretty much just wiped off all the damage that was done to it. That could be a pretty big deal, and I wonder if when Jay saw that, he might think, uh-oh, I really need to just go to a Mewtwo War.
Yeah, maybe. That might be his best plan of attack here.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't knock them out in like 2 or 3 hits, they're always healing you, then your advantage is gone even if you attack first. So maybe his plan is just going to be to go for the big X-Ball, 1-hit knockouts, and hope for the best.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to get another portrait off.
Yeah, he actually attached and retreated before benching the Darkrai because he wanted that Dark in the discard pile. It's a subtle little thing that people might not notice. You do need Dark energy in the discard pile for Dark Patch to work. And we saw Harrison's hand, he also plays Lost Remover. So he's got a lot of tricks in that deck.
He's got a lot of tech for this that are coming to play in this specific matchup, too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's played mirror matches all day to get here, and looks like his deck is just suited for it.
Yeah, these are not tech cards that Jay wanted to see on his first couple portraits.
Absolutely not. It's got to be scaring you. I mean, there was a time where if you saw Potion in someone's hand, you would just kind of laugh
at him.
Be like, alright, this is going to be an easy win. But now, Potion heals 30, and all of a sudden it becomes this great card that people are including in their decks. And it can be kind of scary. One of the ways to really hurt Darkrai's efficiency is just to play healing cards.
Yeah, really limit the power of that attack. The bench damage is really what separates it.
Yeah. I mean, Night Spear on its own, if it just did 90, that wouldn't be a very good attack. just 90 for 3, and there's a lot of stuff that does a lot better. It's the 30 to the bench that really makes Darkrai how powerful it is. You can set up, get those 2 knockouts at once, and soften something up, something like that. It's probably the best attack there is right now.
Yeah. So Harrison, he didn't have an energy. He had the N and hoped to draw it. What if he whiffs a Dark Energy this turn?
Yeah, that could set him back quite a bit. I mean, one of the downsides to running the Darkrai Mewtwo deck is you run double colorless energy, which that doesn't count as a Dark Energy, obviously. Yeah. So you can hit some turns where you just didn't draw the right energy, and you might not be able to attack.
Yeah, he actually whiffed. Wow.
Wow.
He didn't get the energy.
That's a big turn of events for Jay. Now, he does still have a portrait. Could get like a switch and energy off this still, but looks pretty unlikely that he'll attack this turn, and Jay has no supporters.
Wow. That's, Jay has to be like fist pumping on the inside.
Well, at the same time, Jay doesn't have any energy on his field. So, his hand isn't that great. He's got top deck Juniper. But he's got 2 double colorless, 2 dark in his hand, and an Eviolite. I'm not sure what the last card was, but 2 double colorless, that's tough to throw away in this sort of matchup.
Yeah. You have to think he's thinking about just powering up that Mewtwo and going for it.
Yeah, he might play it a little safer and attach to Darkrai. Yeah. He might want a portrait and try...
Yeah, try to get an in or a Pont.
Yeah. And Harrison's showing a whole lot of nothing. This is getting weird fast. This is what can happen with Portrait. You see your opponent has a bad hand, and then you're like, I got a supporter. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to play it? Am I supposed to try to discard it? Now I don't have another supporter to play. It just gets into these weird mind games with Portrait.
And he does choose to discard that Juniper.
Okay.
Which is getting to be a chess match here.
Yeah, I don't...
So he wants to dig for a Pont.
Yeah, I don't think there's a downside to this.
There's a downside.
Yeah. I was going to say it's not really a downside because...
You would have had the Juniper anyways.
You're going to have to end up discarding your whole hand anyway, so might as well try for like the Oak or the N. Well, N actually would have been even worse. So maybe I don't like that play as much.
Yeah, he still has to discard like you said.
Yeah, if he gets an N off the random receiver
that's maybe he shouldn't have discarded the Juniper perhaps.
Right. So now he's going to draw 7. Yeah, if he would have gotten an N from that random receiver, and I do believe Jay plays 4N, he would have given Harrison a fresh hand of 6, which is like the worst thing you would like to do in this situation. Now we got a Dark Patch coming down. That's 2 energy on that Darkrai EX. He needs a 3rd one to be able to use Night Spear. He's going to Junk Arm. That's a 3rd Juniper in his discard, I think. At least 3.
Yeah, that's 3.
And sometimes you can actually go overboard with this stuff. Like trying to deny your opponent supporters. You might actually run out of them yourself if you keep discarding them. Eventually your opponent will probably top deck something. So you got to be careful. There's a fine line there between denying your opponent's supporters and keeping enough for yourself.
Yeah, like it really can backfire, especially if you're like the first person to start discarding, I think.
Yeah. I didn't get to catch what Harrison drew, but he's putting a double colorless on the Mewtwo. I think that's what he drew. That is pretty risky.
Yeah. I mean, he saw Jay's hand there, so he knows that the Mewtwo's safe, but I mean...
Yeah.
Well, it's just a sitting duck.
Jay does have a Junk Arm, so he can go for another
the
random receiver.
I don't know if he would want to discard those Mewtwo's.
Yeah. So you get into a lot of interesting situations, especially when you don't run Super Rod with all the discarding cards like Juniper, Junk Arm, and he decides to bench the second Mewtwo. He'll go for the random receiver, and yeah, this is the unfortunate part of running 4N. He's got to give Harrison a new hand here. I might have even considered just like passing that turn instead of going for the random receiver, just because there's such a high chance of getting an N off your random receiver.
Yeah, especially he got rid of all 3 of those Junipers.
Oh yeah.
He almost 100% chance that it was going to be an N that he revealed.
Yeah. I'm not sure what his supporter count is anymore. In Nationals, it was 4 Juniper, 4 N, and 1 Oak Speed Berry. So you got to think all he had left was N if it stayed the same. So maybe he just didn't realize what was happening, how many Junipers he had gone through. Maybe he did anyway, and he didn't care, and just figured, if I get the first attack, I'm going to win anyway.
Yeah, if I can get that first prize, get the ball rolling, and I can, take the lead and never let it go.
Yeah, and it looks like he will get the first attack off here, I believe.
I would certainly hope so.
Did he open the turn with the Smeargle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll be able to retreat and Night Spear this turn.
Here it comes.
Got the first of many Night Spears in this matchup, sure. And he will hit that Mewtwo for 30 damage, setting it up for later.
Yeah. You almost think that prize is kind of a waste because we don't know if Harrison's going to bench another one prize Pokemon like a Smeargle.
Yeah.
And Jay will end up having to go through 3x anyways.
Well, there's a potion, so that bench damage Night Spear was a waste, but I can see what you're saying with you're kind of just taking a dead prize that it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, taking away your opponent's portrait, that could be a big deal in the future turns, especially once we start getting into all the ends. Now, Harrison,
I think I saw a Max Potion in there.
I was just about to say that. There's a Max Potion, Lost Remover. Is there any tech card he doesn't run?
You just got one of each in there.
He might. Junk Arm's pretty good. Get back any of those tech trainers. The only problem is you gotta find them first.
Yeah, so Jay's in gonna be an interesting spot next turn.
Yeah, Harrison, he'll get the first real Night Spear. Like, he'll actually be the first one to hit an attacker. So maybe he'll have the advantage.
We see Jay has a Shaman in his hand, so maybe he can do some kind of trick with that.
Yeah, I do believe there's just there's 4 energy on his field, the 1 on the Smeargle, 3 on the Darkrai.
Yes.
So X-Ball,
if he has a catcher, he can knock out that Mewtwo with an energy.
Right. The other thing he could do is just, like, if he gets a Dark Patch and a double Collis, he'll have enough. I think he needs 7 on his, or actually it'd be 8 on his Mewtwo to knock out that Darkrai, so that's not really a possibility.
That'd be pretty extreme. You'd be putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Mewtwo is. So we do have the first Night Spear from Harrison. Looks like there was a plus power, so it's going to be for 80 damage. And 32, or actually just 10 to Jay's Mewtwo. Both those have Eeveelites.
Yeah.
Actually, all 3 of his EXs on the field have Eeveelites, so that's also a big advantage for him. And let's see.
He's just Night Speared.
Oh, he just attacked. That's his turn. So
wow.
70 and 30 to that bench Darkrai. Harrison, he's really going to need to find some Eeveelites. The Eeveelite is so big, it turns Night Spear from 2-hit knockout to a 3-hit knockout.
Yep.
It makes the bench damage go from 30 to 10. It really just negates what makes Darkrai so good. Being able to take 2 prizes at once and hitting for enough to knock you out in 2 hits. So Eeveelite will probably be the deciding factor, one of them in this matchup.
Yeah, I think Eeveelite along with N are going to play a huge role.
Yeah.
And whatever healing cards Harrison is hiding in that hand.
Whatever other techs he's got in there. Might see a Super Scoop Up at some point, who knows. I'm just waiting for a black belt, that's all.
Black belt is the worst.
Hey man, you never know. He didn't get here for no reason. Maybe there's some tech cards he's just been busting out on people.
Alright.
Maybe
I'd hate to have a black belt in my hand and get portraited though.
Maybe some hooligans, Jim and Cass in there. Never know what you're going to see. He's going to retreat and just send up his Mewtwo. And just say, alright, here we go.
Let's get this show on the road.
X-Ball, I don't want to be here all day. And he's actually going to move the rest of his energy.
He's probably going to Max Potion that Darkrai.
Yeah, he's going to move the rest of the energy to another Mewtwo and Darkrai. And basically he's saying, let's start the Mewtwo War. There is the Max Potion, that's a huge card as well. And this actually might set Jay back. He might be at a disadvantage because Harrison's the first one to take the 2 prizes.
Yeah, he opted to do nothing the last turn, just attack, and there's an end. But yeah, he's going to go down, the Darkrai is going down, and then his attack got removed from the field with Max Potion.
Yeah, so Harrison, you can really see all these tech cards really helping him out. And Jay, even though he got the first attack off, he's really at a bad position right now, because Harrison's going to take 2 prizes, X-Ball. If Jay responds, he can X-Ball, he'll be at 3, and Harrison will be down at 2 when he responds, he'll be down to 1, and then all he has to do is knock out 1 more Mewtwo.
Yeah, right now he's on the wrong side.
Yeah, he's on the wrong side of the math. This is something we saw quite a bit happen at States and Regionals. Just games would just be a Mewtwo X-Ball back and forth, and games would be over in like 4 turns.
Yeah.
Just like double colorless plus powers over and over. So, Mewtwo, I'm sure these guys are familiar with it, and it's going to really be the deciding guy here. You know, we have all Darkrai decks, but Mewtwo, he's really showing he's the powerful one.
Mewtwo is one of the key cards of this format. He's probably him and Darkrai,
yeah,
the 2 best cards in one deck. You know?
Yeah, why not combine them to make the ultimate deck? I guess that's what these guys did. So we do have an Ultra Ball out of Jay. Not sure what's left to even take for him.
Probably just a Darkrai maybe, or a Shaman, who knows.
Yeah. Might just be playing it to get rid of some cards.
See what's left in the deck.
I don't know how many supporters Jay actually has left. Harrison did end him to 5. We do have like at least 3 Junipers.
And N's gone as well.
Yeah, so he might not have many supporters left to even draw. He's going to be reliant on Portrait, and that's not always the best situation to be in.
Yeah, he needs a double colorless this turn.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he could Shaman the... Well, he has to retreat the Smeargle right now, so no, he can't even do that.
Right, he doesn't have a Darkrai on the field, and he didn't grab one with Ultra Ball. Maybe his other 2 are prized?
That would be really unfortunate.
Yeah. And don't forget he discarded one of his Mewtwo's earlier on.
Yes, he did.
So Jay is at a complete disadvantage in pretty much every way possible right now.
He could be down to his last 2 attackers.
Yeah. I mean, he could draw one off his prizes.
Yeah.
But even then, you're going to have to go Dark Patch, Dark Energy on your Darkrai.
So,
probably not going to work out. Let's see.
Dark Energy, right?
That is not a double call this. See a random receiver, though.
It's going to be an N, probably.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the N. It's going to need a Shaman now to even have a shot at this. Because he already attached his Dark Energy for the turn.
He's going to get another Portrait, though.
Yeah.
Interesting to see whether he Portraits first or goes ahead and ends.
Yeah, weird that he would play the random receiver and then not... Well, I guess he is going to play the end now. But it's weird because he knew it was in Harrison's hand. He knows, I'm going to at least get an Oak out of this again. Whereas now, he's going to be at 4 cards. You're going to really impact your odds of having something here.
Yeah, the Portrait odds are much worse. Not sure how many supporters Harrison plays.
Yeah. And he's drawing 5. So
I did not see... Oh, there's the Ultra Ball.
Yeah,
so.
he's got the Ultra Ball for the Shaman. He'll just be able to X-Ball this turn. Then what happens next turn? He's got a double colorless in his hand, I suppose. So it's really just going to come down to, will Harrison get his 3rd Mewtwo up? It's silly that this is how games can go sometimes, where it's just 3 Mewtwo's trading to end the game. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, that's how this format is, in this matchup in particular.
X-Ball is just too strong of an attack. I mean, it has no real damage cap. You can just load it up with a bunch of energy. You can knock out anything, really, in the format if you get enough energy. And then the ironic part is it just takes 2 energy from another Mewtwo to wipe out all your hard work. But then it just takes another 3 energy from your opponent's Mewtwo, and it just gets silly really quickly.
And there's another potion, so that's 2 out of him, right?
Jeez.
2 potions, 1 max potion.
Yeah, he runs plus power too, so I wonder where he found the room for all these cards.
Which line of trainers that people usually play got trimmed down a bit.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like 3 Catcher, 3 Dark Patch, stuff like that.
Less EVLA maybe.
Yeah. He's got to find the room for it somewhere.
Yeah.
Can't be playing a 65 card deck. At least I hope not.
That's what you think.
Maybe that's his secret. Now it's still... It's Harrison's turn. Jay did knock out the Mewtwo with X-Ball.
Yep.
Have a Junk Arm here. Now, what could happen is Harrison could knock out this Mewtwo, and then if Jay could manage to power up a Darkrai, get a catcher on that Shaman or Smeargle,
Yep.
he could go down to 2 prizes, and then it's really difficult to knock out a Darkrai in one hit. And it's probably not going to happen that he knocks out Jay's Mewtwo. So Jay could tie it up at 2 apiece,
Yeah.
and then he could get the final Mewtwo knockout.
Jay actually got a Darkrai from his prizes, and I saw at least one Dark Patch in his hand, so that is a very realistic scenario.
Yeah, so, it's not as simple as just Mewtwo War anymore. When you add Darkrai in the equation, you can have some weird stuff come up where, even though you're losing the prize exchange, you can kind of make up for it because Darkrai won't be knocked out in one hit.
Yeah. You can see Jay, looks like he's going to go for that route. Oh, he had 2 Dark Patches.
Double Dark Patch. He's going to charge up this Darkrai in one turn. That's just the strength of Dark Patch. Energy acceleration out of nowhere.
Those 2 prizes were huge for him.
Oh, yeah.
He picked the right 2.
He's going to Portrait and see that there's not
Nothing.
a whole lot there. But even just Night Spearing here is a fairly strong play. But Harrison does just have 2 prizes left, so an X-Ball here would actually do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 100 damage.
Yeah. He could, is there any way he could Shaman the energy? Because the Darkrai has a DC on it, which is an end.
Alright, and you can see Jay's pretty excited about that one. Harrison, he went ahead and played the random receiver, got an N off of it. And now he's going to be able to Portrait. Uh-oh. He is going for it.
Just needs a Shaman.
Shaman, and this match is over. Got 2 cards here. Now, this means he won't be able to play Junk Arm.
Yeah.
He won't be able to play Ultra Ball. He really just has to draw Shaman, unless he plays Dual Ball.
Or Level Ball or something crazy like that.
You never know. So, if Harrison can draw the Shaman off of these 2 cards, he's going to just Celebration win, dump all of his energy on his Mewtwo, and win the game here.
He's already got 1 Shaman in place, so this is a 1-outer.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he plays Super Scoop up, he could Super Scoop his bench Shaman.
And I did not see it, but he still has a Portrait, keep in mind, if Jay managed to get a supporter.
Dark Energy, which is pretty relevant.
Okay, and Jay has
A Switch.
Switch?
Switch is huge.
Switch plus power, Shaman, actually. So, definitely not out of this yet. I actually have to wonder if Harrison made the right move by catching up that Mewtwo. Maybe just hitting that Darkrai with either his own Darkrai or with Mewtwo, just softening it up might have been the better play.
Yeah, he could do 90 to it, didn't have an Eviolite.
Yeah. So he's just going to go ahead and Night Spear for 70, 32, the bench Darkrai. Now the pressure's going to be back on Jay. He's still not in the best position, but now it's a much more manageable spot where he could just maybe catcher Harrison's Mewtwo. I'm not sure how much damage is on it.
So he goes ahead and switches right to Darkrai. Maybe I would have liked to see a Portrait.
Yeah, it's strange that he would decide to do that.
See what is in his hand, you know?
Yeah. Now, is that 60 damage on the Shaman?
Ooh, so Harrison had 2 supporters in his hand, too.
Oh, wow.
He could have Portraited one.
That's so big. I can't believe Jay would not use Portrait there. I don't really understand why. Maybe it looks like there's plenty of cards left in his deck.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. He's going to catch her out that Mewtwo. And Shaman, there it is. Wow. Harrison Leven wins game 1.
Wow. I mean, even if Jay does Portrait there, he would have had to hit an in probably to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
So it probably didn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
So Jay, who's really been the one who's pioneered this Darkrai Mewtwo deck, he said he's practiced nothing but the mirror match and against Zekrom Electric, I think.
That's what he said, yeah.
Yeah. And here Harrison's just coming in and saying, actually, I know how to play this match too. Mirror match, no sweat.
Yeah, I think Harrison really prepared his deck for this tournament. he probably guessed the metagame right.
Yeah.
All these Darkrai decks, and here he is playing his potions and his max potions, which are huge.
Yeah, now Harrison's actually one of the younger players in the field. He hasn't been to Masters for too many years. I think this is actually his first time qualifying for Worlds. So he is making a huge run in his first World Championships.
Yep, it's those Lucario sleeves, man. He saved them for the right time.
Yeah, I mean, and he's switched gears a lot this season. I know earlier on he did very well with the Chandelure, Vileplume, Dodrio deck during Cities. Yeah, that's really what got him most of his championship points. He won regionals back in the fall. He won with the Typhlosion Magnezone deck. He played Excelgor at Nationals, so he's just been all over the place with these decks.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of range and versatility with this game, which is kind of the sign of a great player.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like one-trick ponies. They can play one deck very well, but we've seen he can play many decks well.
Yeah, it's really a testament to his skill that he's been able to pick up all these different decks and still just have success in every single step of the way. Nationals, regionals.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say enough about how well he's doing.
Yeah, he's having a spectacular season.
Yeah. Now let's not count Jay out, though.
They're both having such good seasons.
Yeah. This is just game one. It's a best 2 out of 3 series. Who knows what can happen? Anything can happen when you have N in the equation with Mewtwo, with Portrait, all of this stuff. But I think on paper, with all of the techs that Harrison has added in, the Potion, the Max Potion, Monster Mover, all this stuff, I think he's actually probably the favorite.
Yeah. You see Jay shuffle pretty forcefully. He's ready to get down to business here. I like that.
He's taking out his anchor on his cards. It's alright. He's getting focused for the next game. He realizes what's on the line.
Yeah.
It's probably a good way for him to just focus.
Yeah, he's been here before, and he wants to move on. You can see that determination.
Yeah. He won't be satisfied unless he wins Worlds. I know that for a fact. And he knows what's on the line here. One more loss. He's out of the tournament. But 2 more wins. He advances to the finals. He's one step closer to being world champion. And if anyone can do it, it's going to be Jay.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Oh, yeah. So we are going to shuffle up and get set up for game number 2 here from the top 4 of Worlds. Jay on the left. Looks like he doesn't have a basic. He's just going to wait.
Oh, there he goes.
Mulligan.
Thought there might have been a Darkrai in there, but it was just a Dark Energy.
Yeah, we see some interesting standoffs sometimes where neither players have a basic in their hand and they don't want to reveal.
Go first.
Yeah. They don't want to show the other person that they're going to get an extra card. So they just kind of wait. And then I don't think there's actually a good way to resolve that sort of situation until eventually someone gives in.
Yeah.
But it's like Harrison had a basic, just put it out there. And Jay had to mulligan. But he will be going first this game.
Looks like you got a Darkrai start.
Yep, and he kind of flicks it out there.
See a lot of body language.
Yeah, you can see Jay is a little frustrated that he lost that match, or the first game of this match. And he's really determined to win these next 2 out. As we said before, he's a guy who really wears his emotions on his sleeve when he's playing. You know, if he wins, he'll get up and celebrate. If he loses, I mean, he'll have his hands on his head and he'll be devastated. And Harrison's actually the same way. He'll be very excited if he wins, and I've seen this guy take some tough losses too.
Yeah, I mean, to top 4 Nats twice. I mean, he made it to the finals once, and the top 4 Worlds once. And again now, he takes some tough losses.
Yeah, I mean, you get some tough wins and some tough losses along the way. Yeah. Both these guys have a lot of experience at this point. And they'll both deal with it, but whoever loses here has to be devastated.
Yep, their eyes, they're so close they can, see the trophy, you can start to visualize.
Yeah, you can actually see, the Pikachu trophy in the case. It's just right there.
It's taunting them.
I mean, everyone wants to be the world champion. That's why you play the game. You want to hold that trophy, you want to be on stage, you want to have your deck printed. Those are the coolest parts of being the world champion. Of course, you get the title, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, it doesn't get any bigger or better than this.
So, I think there was a revealed card there, DC, on the top of Harrison's deck.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll impact anything.
Probably not, especially not this early in the game.
Yeah.
Unless Jay decides to go psycho and attach a double colorless Mewtwo and X-Ball. But he knows better than that. I've seen some players do that before, though.
It's like a Juniper.
Yep, looks like it. Jay has to discard a Shaman.
I think he had to discard at least one Juniper in there as well.
Yeah, so Portrait can definitely backfire when it comes to Professor Juniper. You have to discard your whole hand. Of course, it's strong if you can discard those Dark Energy.
Yeah.
But if you have to discard other resources, you can end up losing just because, hey, I don't have that Shaman anymore.
Yeah, down the road, it could backfire.
Yeah. Between Junk Arm, Ultra Ball, Shaman...
A lot of discarding.
Junk Arm, Ultra Ball, and Juniper, I mean, not Shaman. And Portraiting for other Shaman, jeez, why do I keep confusing Shaman for Juniper? Portraiting, if you could Portrait Shaman, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Portraiting for other Junipers. I mean, you can end up discarding so many cards throughout the course of a game.
Yeah, these are excellent players, though, and used to their resource management.
And it's like Harrison will Juniper and discard another Juniper plus power.
Max Potion, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like it. And he put the double colorless on his bench Darkrai.
Just trying to protect the Mewtwo, probably. Like you said, you don't want to go full steam ahead with the Mewtwo too early.
I'm not sure what's actually going on here.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Harrison doesn't have a Smeargle in play.
Yeah. Not sure what happened here.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on. Did he try to Portrait and there's just not a Smeargle out there? Because Jay keeps showing his hand. I don't understand why that's happening.
Yeah, this is a weird situation, honestly. I have no idea
Yeah,
why both players would have their hands out like this. And
yeah, this is very private information, what's in your hand. That's part of Pokemon. You don't have complete information on what your opponent has all the time.
yeah,
So it's very rare to have just both players have their hands face up unless someone's using Portrait.
Yeah, at the same time, if that's what happened, like, how does someone not realize there's not a Smeargle active?
Yeah, and how do you even resolve that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Because so much information was just given to Harrison on what's in Jay's hand. That can impact so many decisions. Even what happened in the top 16 between Michael Pramwat and Stephen Mao.
Oh, yeah.
Where, I mean, the whole thing changed because Stephen knew what Pram was going to do next.
Yeah, he changed where he put the Tornadus
Yeah.
energy, Hurricane.
So any little piece of information can end up altering someone's decisions, and you hate to see that happen.
Wow. This is certainly an interesting turn.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on, to be honest. Maybe Harrison drew one too many cards.
I'm sure Jay is arguing for some sort of penalty here.
Yeah, I think Harrison's saying, look, I have a Juniper anyway.
Yeah. Even so, he did Portrait, if that's what happened, then there would be some kind of penalty, I assume.
Yeah, when you can't just say Portrait and look at your opponent's hand. That's not how things work in this game. You have to actually have the Pokemon. Mewtwo's good, but he's not that good. He doesn't have Portrait, too.
I didn't know he could paint.
Mewtwo can do anything, alright?
I think there's some sort of conference happening between the judges.
Yeah, I can actually see both players are just kind of laughing about the situation, like, how did we get here? How did this come to a point where I said Portrait and neither of us realized that there was no Smeargle in play?
Maybe see some of the nerves that are happening right now.
Yeah.
We've gotten the top four and things start to unravel a little bit. You've been playing all weekend and you just mess up. It happens.
Yeah, and this situation is, I mean, it's more common than you think, where you've played so many games, you're just so used to like having Smeargle up and using Portrait every turn.
Yeah.
That you just think you have one, when really you don't. But we've seen it happen with, you think there's a Sky Arrow Bridge out there, so you just retreat. But
I think Jay is certainly arguing that the knowledge of the hand here.
Oh yeah, and I would argue that too. I mean, you can't just get away with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the judges. That's all I have to say.
Me too.
And I would like to compliment these judges. They've been spectacular this whole weekend, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Usually people have a lot of complaints about the judging staff, but this weekend it has been wonderful. Vince Kreckler has been the head judge here.
Oh, yeah.
It's McGanium45 is his screen name. He has done a fantastic job with the Masters division. We've had no real hiccups. We've had logical conclusions and resolutions to all of these ruling arguments. There haven't been any issues with unfair rulings or anything like that. And it's just been very smooth the entire weekend.
Yeah, they don't get enough praise. And I think they would probably prefer to be in the background, unnoticed, but they deserve all the praise they can get.
Yeah, I mean, they get enough. It's like when they do something wrong, people hear about it, but you don't ever praise them if they do something right. So it's a good opportunity to just say how much the judges have improved over the past few years and how well they're doing right now.
Yeah, excellent job. Kudos to the entire staff.
Yeah, definitely. So they're still taking a minute to resolve this one. It's a pretty delicate situation. Jay showed Harrison his hand. He saw everything that was in there. I mean, you can't just scream out portrait and then use the supporter there.
I'm glad they noticed right away, though.
Yeah, these are two super weird situations that we've had to deal with today, with the Sky Arrow Bridge not being in play and retreating. And now the invisible Smeargle portrait. So after all this, we're going to have a Juniper.
Alright, so I'm not sure what happened there. There was a lot of clapping, so I think Harrison agreed to show Jay's hand after that. I think Harrison agreed to show him his hand maybe after the Juniper. That appears to be what happened. Or
what's happening is just he's going to have to play the Juniper for a supporter for the turn, and they both got a warning.
Okay.
I don't know what else you can really do in that situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if a prize penalty is the right call because both players were at fault there.
Yeah, I don't think the prize penalty is appropriate. I really hate prize penalties because they swing the game so much, especially in the top 4 worlds. You'd hate to see it decided by a prize penalty.
Right.
But I do think Harrison showed him his hand. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Sorry, I was getting some info. Wasn't paying attention.
Someone came up to us and explained the situation, so thank you to them.
So now, let's see what's going on. This game really hasn't progressed at all.
Yeah.
It's just been like one turn, and then all this stuff happened. So now we have Jay's using an Ultra Ball. Looks like he doesn't have any basic darks in his hand, so nothing to get in the discard pile. Just gonna grab a second Darkrai.
Going back to the first turn, didn't he discard some DCs?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a long game already.
Yeah, I've forgotten everything already.
Just an interesting how much something like that, a situation like that, can derail a game. And
yeah, it could just completely knock both these players off their train of thought, and it could change everything. I mean, Jay could have had a plan all figured out in his head, and then he could get back to his turn and be like, wait,
what happened?
I don't remember what's going on anymore. It's a perfect possibility. But I'm sure both these guys are good enough where they'll be able to resume pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure they've had some adversity this weekend, and they've gone through it.
So right now, Jay decides to bench a second Smeargle, which I gotta say, I gotta question that play just because you don't leave a bench spot open for a Shaman.
Yeah, he's gonna have to have something knocked out before he can do a big swing play like that.
Yeah, so that's really limiting his options. One of the most overlooked aspect of Pokemon is your bench management. If you fill it up, you don't have options to put another thing down. You might not have enough attackers. You might not have room for a support card like Shaman. So it's just a lot of people just go ahead and fill their bench, and they don't realize what they're doing when leaving one bench spot open could completely change the game.
Yeah, I'm sure Jay knows what he's doing, though.
I'm sure he does, but just not being able to play Shaman, that could end up biting him later.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So now Harrison was able to portrait, got that Oak's New Theory. He I believe he catchered up Jay's Darkrai.
Yes.
So he's going to be going for a Night Spear this turn if possible.
It's going to be tough for him. He has to hit the Switch or Sky Arrow along with the energy.
Right. Definitely possible, but it's going to take a lot of cards. I don't believe he's played a supporter, though. He just used Portrait.
Yeah, he used the Portrait.
So we'll have another supporter to go with. It's only a couple cards to pull off the Night Spear. But like we saw last time, getting the first Night Spear doesn't always mean you win.
That is the case.
Anything can happen with Max Potion, Shaman, Mewtwo, and it's a mirror match. So, I mean, both these guys know what they're up against.
I'm not sure if he got it or not. I do see the Switch, though.
Yeah, he has the Switch in his hand and a junk arm.
Probably getting the Dark Patch. I believe
Yeah.
he played one already.
I would assume he has the cards for Night Spear, but he's taken a while to look at it. No, he does not.
Catcher.
There's no Dark Patch in the discard pile. So maybe he's going to use that catcher to stall for time this turn. Oh, no.
Alright.
Oaks, in theory. He couldn't play the Switch there because then he wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to Dark Patch.
Yeah.
So he's got to play it in the right order. Both these players, they know what they're doing. We won't see any little mistakes like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I would certainly be surprised if either of them made
Yeah.
a minor misplay like that.
Yeah, I mean, both these players are good enough where I wouldn't expect that to happen, but when you add nerves into the equation,
Yeah.
you never know what kind of
Anything's
stuff can
possible.
happen. Yeah. I've seen some people do some weird stuff in high-pressure situations, that's for sure.
I don't think I saw a Dark Patch out of that.
No, I don't think so either.
So both players are kind of slow, clunky starts going here.
Yeah. I mean, for how fast Darkrai is supposed to be, and how its strength is just supposed to be, its speed, we've seen quite a few games here in the top cut of Worlds where people just don't attack with Darkrai till like turn 3 or turn 4.
Yeah, I think you see maybe they're not shuffling as well as they did throughout the tournament, something like that.
Yeah, maybe they just get some bad hands, who
Yeah.
knows. So we're going to have Jay draw 6 here. Harrison did catch her up the Darkrai that had 3 energy on it now. So Jay's going to be able to use Night Spear this turn. But once again, it's going to be that situation where he can Night Spear, but does it really matter if you knock out Smeargle?
I think it actually... we saw last game Harrison played some Shamans down, so maybe he would have another Pokemon down the road, but he'd still like to take the 2 prizes.
Yeah.
Because, like what happened last game, he ended up on the wrong side of the prize exchange.
And Jay decides to put 30 on Smeargle. That's an interesting choice for the Night Spear.
He must feel confident that he's going to be able to knock out the Mewtwo's in one hit or something like that. Or maybe Harrison won't potion the Smeargle because he doesn't think it's important enough, and he can get a sneak KO in there.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe eventually if Harrison has to bench a Shaman,
Yeah.
he can catch the Shaman, get a double knockout with Night Spear. He has to put 30 more on the Smeargle this turn, but that's a possibility too. There's all sorts of stuff you have to consider when you're playing Darkrai. And now Harrison has another Oak's New Theory. Both these players play the standard supporters, Oak's New Theory, Professor Juniper, and N. You don't really see people stray away from those 3 supporters.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. And even the rest of their decks are pretty similar, except the Tech Trainer cards that Harrison plays.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Potion, I can't believe it's making so much of a difference in this matchup, but it's doing its work. And other than that, yeah, I mean, their decks are pretty much the same. It looks like Harrison plays a few more Oak's New Theory than Jay, though.
Yeah, I would be surprised if their lists weren't more than 10 cards off, if they were more than 10 cards off.
Yeah, yeah. I would say they're probably like 5 cards different or something like that, yeah. And now Harrison, he's just going to mimic what Jay did.
Wow, it's pretty interesting.
30 on that Smeargle, yeah. So now we're at a weird spot where Darkrai doesn't really knock out Darkrai very well. It's just 70 at a time when you have Eevee Light. It's going to take 3 hits to do so. But like I said earlier, Jay has no spot to put down his Shaman.
Yeah, this is where you can see it maybe impacted a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas Harrison can do some sort of Shaman tricks with his Mewtwo's.
Right. Like when his Darkrai takes another hit, he can go ahead and Shaman the energy off. Go ahead and max Potion.
Yep.
Whereas Jay, all he can do is just attach to his Pokemon. He can't just go Shaman X-Ball for a huge knockout. He doesn't have the bench space to be able to do that.
Yeah, he's stuck hitting something for 90 damage or 70 damage.
Yeah, and as a player, that's when you're the most comfortable. When you see, this is what my opponent can do. There's limits.
Yeah, they're stuck in this line of thought.
Yeah. And he can't just drop some random Pokemon on me out of nowhere.
That's what you think, man. Super scoop up.
There's that, but yeah, usually that doesn't come up very often. But yeah, I've had that happen too. But generally, when you know someone doesn't play Super Scoop Up or Seeker, I guess, you just kind of know, alright, this is what he has to work with. I don't have to worry about any crazy stuff. I just have to deal with the Pokemon that's on the board, and that makes it a lot easier for you to make decisions.
Jay has to be hoping to avoid a Max Potion or something here.
Yeah, the Shaman Max Potion.
The Shaman Max Potion.
That would be a huge deal if Harrison just powers up his Mewtwo, takes a knockout on either this Darkrai or catches out Jay's Mewtwo with the double Collis. That would be a huge deal. Certainly possible for Harrison to take the first 2 prizes here.
I would be kind of surprised if he didn't, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so far within like the range of possibilities. Oh,
discards the Shaman. I mean, he must have 2, but
maybe he doesn't want to go that route.
It's always shocking to see someone discard a Shaman because it's such a powerful card just to rearrange all of your energy. And it looks like he's going to catch out Jay's Mewtwo. You have to wonder why Jay put the double Collis on that Mewtwo to begin with. You're just kind of opening up yourself for this kind of a play to happen.
Yeah.
And now Harrison, he's going to take the initiative.
Is Max Potion there? Oof.
Yeah, you junk arm for that.
Wow. Wow.
Harrison, I couldn't stack your deck better than that.
I mean, the Shaman could have been in the deck still. That's the only thing.
And a Potion on the Smeargle as well.
Wow.
That's so big. That prevents the double knockout on the Shaman and the Smeargle.
Yeah, he pretty much just wiped out 2 turns of Jay's hard work.
Yeah, exactly. Jay basically just wasted the last 2 turns. Didn't gain any ground at all. Now he's actually going to lose that Mewtwo with the double Collis. We have a Dark Patch too.
This is probably the best possible turn Harrison could ask for.
Definitely. And now Jay has got to be really nervous. And an Eviolite on Smeargle too? Are you kidding me?
He's getting backed up against the wall here.
Oh yeah. And Jay, I mean, he's going to do everything he can. You know, there's still There's still the chance that Harrison gets into a Mewtwo war and he doesn't come out on top.
Definitely.
But if you're looking at things right now, Harrison's definitely the one with the dominant position.
Yeah, the board is heavily skewed in Harrison's favor right now.
Yeah. This is going to have to be... I mean, this has got to be the turn where Jay plays a Shaman, maybe? Or at least gets a double Collis on his Mewtwo.
Yeah, I would say probably looking to knock out this Mewtwo here.
Yeah. And he does have the N, which is important. Harrison does not have a second Mewtwo on board. So he's going to need to draw his own Mewtwo. And then a double Collis and a plus power to respond to Jay's Mewtwo. Not really that feasible. So he's probably just going to have to Night Spear next turn.
Assuming Jay gets this knockout here.
Yeah. Sorry, I get ahead of myself sometimes.
And he definitely whiffed.
He's got one more card.
One more. DC.
Yeah. Oh! Wow, are you kidding me? The 6th card. Jay likes to keep us in suspense, apparently.
Wow.
There it is. Card number 6. Off that end. Wow. And once again, Jay fills his bench up with another Mewtwo. He's not leaving his options open. But, I mean, that might not matter. He might just be thinking, alright, I'm expecting this one to get knocked out, and then I'm going to Shaman all my energy on a Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Play an N, and I hope it goes the distance.
Yeah. And Harrison promotes the Darkrai here. He doesn't want to take any chances with Smeargle not being able to retreat, maybe.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to hit an in, perhaps, something like that.
Yeah. And Harrison does not play a single card from his hand.
Yeah.
And he just uses Night Spear.
Wow.
So things definitely turned around here after Jay played that N. I mean, that's just what N can do. It can disrupt your opponent's hand. They might not draw any supporters or anything really to get going.
Yeah. So, not sure if the Shaman would have been a big deal here. I don't know. Would that have been enough energy if he had another DC or something?
3 on the Darkrai.
Yeah.
I mean, he would need 1 more energy.
Yeah.
So a Dark Patch Shaman, that would have knocked out Harrison's Darkrai, actually.
Probably a little bit out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah. It's just 2 cards, but yeah, I mean, it'd still be a lot to have at this stage in the game. Look at how big Jay's discard pile is.
Yeah.
It's like 3 times the size of his deck. And at this point, you're going to be running out of options, running out of junk arms. You can't pull off those crazy plays anymore.
Yep. I'd like to see Jay kind of hit an Eviolite here. I'm sure he wants to hit one for this Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Really protect it from Harrison. I think I saw Harrison have a catcher in his hand.
And he's just going to Night Spear, knock out that Smeargle.
Okay.
And put 30 on the other one.
He's hoping for a 3-prize turn or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that.
Or maybe just knock out the Shaman and Smeargle on its next turn and hope for the best.
I think Harrison is at an extreme advantage at this point. He's going to knock out this Mewtwo. Jay has that Darkrai that's already got 70 damage on it.
Well,
And
I think anything's possible because Jay has an N in his hand, I assume. So maybe if he has a catcher, he can get some kind of... Oh, there's an N. Alright.
Harrison will play an N. And once again, we're coming down to the luck of the draw.
N War has started up.
Yeah. So I can't see if that Smeargle has 30 or 60 on it. It might be 60. Then it would be a Night Spear for 3 prizes.
Well, it had 60 on it before. Did he max potion it or
guess we'll find
just
out.
potion?
Either way, I don't know if you actually want to take that 3rd prize, because that'll put you down to 1 card in case of N.
Yeah.
And N to 1 is the worst thing that can ever happen to you.
Oh, there's... Alright, so it only had 30.
I meant Jay's. Okay.
Oh, Jay's.
But yeah, it did have 60 on it. Harrison is at 1 prize. And looks like we have a winner in the other match. We'll update that later, but looks like Igor from Portugal is going to advance to the finals.
Wow. We did his first round game, so he's come a long way from that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
So we still have this game to finish. Jay has an N in his hand. He's down 2 prizes, though. Can he make any sort of comeback here? He's going to catch out Harrison's Mewtwo.
I mean, you can't count him out.
Definitely not. Not with N. See what can happen here. That potion was such a big deal for Harrison. He would have been on a 1-turn clock to have to retreat his Mewtwo or heal one of his Pokemon. He would have just been 2 Night Spears, knock out both the Mewtwo and the Smeargle. Game over.
Yeah.
Now it takes 3 Night Spears for Jay to win the game. So, he's going to need 2 turns of Harrison missing something. Jay's going to have to get lucky here.
There's so many cards in Harrison's deck that can swing it either way.
Right. I mean, just to give you an idea, the difference is if Harrison draws a junk arm off of his N, now he can play it because he has 2 turns to draw the 2 cards to actually play it. Whereas before he only had the 1 card. And it's just going to provide a big...
passes.
Oh, wow. This is big.
That was it. That potion, man.
Yeah, potion may have saved Harrison this match.
So he's going to go ahead and take a peek at what Harrison got there.
Yeah. This is kind of dangerous, though. It gives Harrison the option to portrait next turn. So if Jay were to draw a supporter off his prize, he's given Harrison's Smeargle free retreat.
Oh, junk arms.
2 junk arms.
Oh, no. That's a game, right? Or
that actually might be the game. I mean,
how much damage is on that Darkrai?
I mean, I think Jay switched to the Smeargle, right?
Yeah.
I think so. So, I was going to say, if it was stuck up there, the game would be over. It'd just be switch.
He's going to get these 2 prizes.
Yeah. So Jay, he cannot take the knockout this turn. He just loses if he does. Harrison will just junk arm for the catcher. Night Spear.
Yeah.
He's only got one prize left.
Yeah, the Smurgle would be gone.
Yeah. So Jay, he has to realize, all right, I just have to pass this turn. I can't knock this thing out, otherwise I lose. I have to cross my fingers, pray to God I draw an end, and then take the knockout. But yeah, that potion
incredible.
Was the game decider. As funny as that sounds, potion has saved Harrison from losing this game once again. And we are just going to wait to see
this is incredible.
What Jay decides to do here. I mean, 3 prizes to 1. If Jay loses this game, he's eliminated from the tournament. Harrison will move on to the finals.
Why did he cut his deck there?
I don't really know.
Alright, whatever.
Oh no, he's taking the knockout. He saw the 2 junk arms in Harrison's hand. And there it is. Game over. Harrison Leven will advance to the finals. 2012 World Championships to play Igor Costa from Portugal.
Not sure. Maybe he just figured it was over at that point. There's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, I don't really know what his thinking there was. He saw the 2 junk arms. He knew he lost if he takes the knockout. Maybe he was just out of ends, and there's just nothing he can do about it. I'm sure there's reasoning behind it. Jay wouldn't just do that for no reason. But yeah, that's going to be a top 4 match. It was an exciting finish there.
That was exciting.
There's a 2-0 victory for Harrison, but those games were pretty close.
2 extremely close games we saw. The second game was decided by a potion of all cards.
Yeah. Who knew Potion would be the unsung hero of Worlds this year?
Yeah, I think we saw it a little bit last year at Worlds in some decks for Typhlosion and Omega, and then again this year for Darkrai.
Yeah, it just shows how even like 10, 20, 30 damage difference can end up deciding a match. And now we're going to have Harrison's teched out Darkrai Mewtwo deck go up against Igor in the finals, who has a Darkrai Terrakion Mewtwo deck, also pretty heavily teched out.
Yeah, this is incredible how we've seen all these different Darkrai versions. I mean, they're kind of the same deck with different tech cards. Rise to the top of this world. They've pretty much dominated the whole tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Darkrai has been the common factor in all these successful decks, but people have found ways to tinker the deck, just add in their own personal twists, and it's carried Harrison and Igor all the way to the finals. I mean, congratulations to Jay and Mike Diaz.
You have to feel for them.
Incredible runs, yeah. You have to feel for them losing, but I think they'll be okay. They get an invite to Worlds next year.
Yeah, I mean, they're pumped. It's going to start to sink in later on, I feel. The devastating defeat, especially on Jay's end. He's been here before.
Yeah.
And we know how much he wanted to win this year.
Yeah, he's going to take another 3rd place finish, I know. He really wanted to be the world champion this time. Fortunately, it just wasn't in the cards for him, and he's going to have to come back next year and try again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this World's Finals, though.
Yeah,
crown a new national world champion, man.
Yeah, 2 relatively unknown players. I mean, Harrison had some success at U.S. Nationals, but for the most part, not too many people know about him. And Igor from Portugal, I mean, I can't imagine most people knew who he was. So we're going to have a shocking world champion, I would say.
Yeah, both excellent players, though. Can't stress that enough.
Yes, they're world caliber players. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. So it will be an exciting matchup. That's going to wrap up our coverage here from the Top Cut here at Worlds. The finals will be streamed live, so you can go ahead and watch that on the official Pokemon website. Thanks everybody for watching. I've been Kyle Sucevich.
And I've been Drew Holton. Woo!
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Woo!